when we kind of originally had connected, one of our first initial phone calls, you told a story, Mike, of something that happened with your daughter, which I know very much resonates with Lisa and our entire audience watching. I have 4 daughters of my own, and so I don't know if you had a moment where you went viral, and so would you mind sharing that with our audience?
Sure. This kind of speaks to a little bit of like our kind of like goal with what we do with a lot of games that we work on now. And it was kind of the impetus for a lot of this too, because my daughter, she was 3 at the time, and I would play Donkey Kong with her, and she started to get pretty good at playing Donkey Kong. So she would always wake up and want to play some Donkey Kong before the day started and everything. So we'd do that. And so I thought it'd be cool to introduce her to some of the later games. I'm like, here's Super Mario Brothers and all stuff. And she really liked Super Mario Brothers 2, where you can pick your character. And one of the characters was Princess Toadstool. And she thought that was really cool because she could be a character that was kind of like her. But she didn't really, it was hard for her to play that game. She wanted to keep going back to Donkey Kong. So just one day when went back to Donkey Kong, we're playing, and she's like, I don't want to play as him. I want to play as the girl that was at the top, the girl that you rescue in Donkey Kong. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to explain to her, like, you can't really do that in this one. You can't pick your character and all stuff. But then it like stuck in my head because I'm like, I make games. This is something I'm good at doing. Like, I should be able to solve this problem. So with a little bit of poking around and talking to some friends who I work with, I started that night just working on reverse engineering Donkey Kong and swapping the characters. And within like a day, we had characters swapped. You were playing as Pauline, climbing up to rescue Mario. And I started posting about it online. And so my friends were like, do you mind if I share this with people? I'm like, yeah, whatever. And by like that weekend, it had gone viral. And what I didn't realize, and this was like a big wake-up call for me, is I didn't realize there was a very defining moment in the games industry in general happening at this time. And that was about representation in games, because there was this series about tropes in video games by Nita Sarkeesian, and it was talking about how kind of like how inappropriate the trope of the damsel in distress really is, and how much games relied on it. And so I'm doing this whole thing completely oblivious to that kind of message that's going on at the moment. I do this thing and it goes viral and helps become like this kind of part of this bigger movement. And that was, like I said, a huge wake up call for me. I was getting calls from like, Good Morning America and all this kind of stuff. And my daughter's kind of like become like kind of this kind of a poster child for a lot of stuff, which was great because as a parent, I was able to see through her eyes and see what we needed to do. And it was like, I couldn't believe we hadn't been like, I was coming at it from the wrong perspective my whole career. So that changed everything overnight for me. Everything we've worked on since and everything we continue to work on is about representation, diversity, and making sure that we have that in everything we touch.
Yeah, I think that's really incredible, and something that why I was really excited about what you guys are doing, because of course, I'm a total fan of the double bottom line impact, where you can make money and also make a big impact. And especially you just think of media, it is the most powerful socializing agent of our modern era. And, video games represent one of the most popular forms of media entertainment. And I know it's nearly $200 billion market now. And a lot of it, there's just been so much criticism, to your point, around just depictions of women, the sexualization of female characters. Oftentimes, like blatantly sexist representations of women are found in video games. And so as part of remaking these games, turning them from classics and making them into the modern era, you guys are doing some great work around really thinking through those tough issues that are subconsciously affecting every player who plays the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my whole career, it's been kind of funny to me because from the perspective of making games, it's been kind of weird to me throughout time here of like listening to people say why we couldn't do that in games. And the only reason why was always some like really terrible excuse as to why. It wasn't a money thing. It wasn't a time thing. It's just a choice you have to make. And so I think really we're at a really good point now where we can get in there and make change, and it doesn't cost us anything more. It doesn't do anything. It's just so much more meaningful right now for us to go and do that.